With the Morning Waffle, we don't know what we're going to say. You don't either, but we'll find out right after this.
It's happening.
Well, we're not sorry about that because that's the wrong button. That's the button I was looking for right there.
Yay!
Sorry you didn't get to see your waffles this morning.
Retro intro.
Retro intro,
old
yeah.
school, taking it back way OG.
So you guys may or may not notice this, but the TV is a little lower than it used to be. And
Okay.
it's a little darker than it used to be, all with the idea of not having reflections on the TV. But I see that these two lights I've got here are actually now reflecting.
You're
on
getting
the
there,
TV.
Will.
Yeah, we're figuring it out.
I need to get like a non-reflective film. You know what I mean? Like you can get it for like your phones.
You okay there, Lauren?
No. It's good now.
Okay. All right. I was
I'm
worried.
just not going to touch it.
Well, the good news is I spent yesterday morning out on the lake and got feeling kind of crispy on my face,
crispy.
and so like I don't feel totally washed out with the lights hitting me here.
I got a little bit Sunday afternoon. We were at the Wildcat Blast trap shoot down at Ozark Shooters for the Wildcat Trap Team. So we were down there, and I got a little sun.
Got a little vitamin D.
I didn't notice it until the next morning.
Right.
When I got up, I'm like, oh, look, your face is a little red.
Oh, your face is red.
So I was on somebody else's boat, so I hopped out of my truck, grabbed my stuff, hopped into their truck, and got onto the lake, and I realized I left my sunglasses in the truck.
No.
On the lake.
So
That's rough.
yeah, so by
It's
the last
not
couple
good.
hours, I was like, my eyes are burned. This feels awful.
eyes.
Yeah. So this morning, then I took some drops. Which did you hear? There were some drops on the market that
killed
made
ya?
people go blind and killed you. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And
So I was
they,
like,
Eye
reading
drops?
this, going,
Yeah, they did.
Sweetie, when's the last time you used these? Are you blind? Can you see?
yeah, actually, it was on the news this morning. I was listening to the FDA went over to the plant in India where they manufactured the eye drops.
Ew.
Lo and behold, it wasn't sanitary.
Well, yeah.
What?
I know.
Yeah.
So
Shocker.
surprised.
All
Shocker.
it takes is a little bacteria in the drops.
Morning,
and
Heather and
it'll
Vicky.
kill you.
That's what it was. Yeah, it
Got
was.
some nice good morning shout outs from our Waffle Loyalty Club?
Loyalty
Membership
Club.
Club?
I like
Loyalty
that.
Club.
I don't think there's a membership. There's no dues.
It's a membership and fun.
Well, there
is
you
what
go.
it is.
That's
The
what it
rules
is.
are made up and the points don't matter.
That's right.
Yeah,
Good,
so
great show.
eye drops and saline solution are one of those things that always cause me pause
Yeah.
because they sit in your medicine cabinet for sometimes years, sometimes a decade, and I'm like, I don't trust that this is sterile inside anymore.
Well, sterile would be if somebody puts their finger on it or whatever, you could get bacteria in there. And bacteria in your eyeball is not a good thing.
It's not. It's
I
no.
wouldn't think that'd be a pleasant experience.
It's not good.
I would.
No, we don't want that. But
I would
I am
seek to avoid that.
And
I
good
think.
morning, Beth. Yeah, and it's a voting day. Well, I don't even know what is on the ballot. I have no idea.
I looked at the sample ballot for those of us that live in rural, unincorporated Webster County, and I believe there is nothing on the ballot.
There you go.
Is there? I wonder
I think
if
I
there
could
was
vote
a
for
tax.
Portland School Board, but
Yeah,
that was it.
I was going to say there's some school board in the area. I don't think Raj
I don't
has
think
anybody.
Raj had a. I think it was unopposed. I believe.
Yep.
I on some sample ballot I saw there was some sort of like marijuana tax, and
In Webster County? Or?
No,
I thought
I
it
think
was in Webster. Oh no, maybe it was like city of.
or Marshfield maybe.
Maybe
or,
Beth, if you know, if you're in
Lebanon.
the know, let us know.
or something like that. But,
Because I know there's an alderman race in Rogersville, but it's not. It's nobody
Uncontested.
uncontested.
you can
so,
walk and win that one.
Yeah. So I was just like, do I need to go vote? I don't know if there's anything to vote for. In Springfield, it seems like there's hot
Oh, it's hot in
contest-
Springfield. Yeah, they're gonna.
School board there as well, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
school
and
board
some
and
at a bond issue, I think.
I don't know about that. School board
bond
and
issue.
mayor, or maybe city council.
Yeah, that is a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's going to it's going to determine the course of Springfield schools and therefore Springfield and significantly all of Southwest Missouri for the near future.
And a lot of people don't know this. Springfield is the biggest public school system in the state of Missouri.
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yep,
That's
is
surprising.
It is.
Yeah, wow.
We have late breaking news from our farmer, Emma. 10 days until the garden outpost is coming. Woohoo!
Yes.
That's on the
Good.
14th. That's right after my birthday.
All right.
We're gonna have Love Local Gardeners Succeeding. Come get veggie starts, bedding plants, unique houseplants, perennials, and everything you will need for Mother's Day, because that's coming up too.
Yeah, it is.
And
That's great Mother's Day shopping, by the way.
there's going to be
Yes,
a
it
new
is.
season of Tough Talks on
As long as you
K-ROG.
plan it. I've done that the last 2 Mother's Days. Shayna's wanted some new things in the landscaping, and
Hey,
Oh, yeah, that is a
I'm
good
just
idea.
saying,
That's a good way
Emma,
to do that.
Emma will come through for you.
She
Yeah.
will.
She really will.
She will.
she has.
Oh, and she says also don't forget to vote.
For plants.
I vote for plants. So I'm excited that Garden Outpost will be back open soon. And guess what? I can walk to it, so I love it.
So just to circle back and maybe hopefully finish up that Springfield School Board election.
Oh, yeah,
so
sorry.
what you have, no, perfect. We needed to do that. What you have in the Springfield School Board is a split school board.
That's what I've
you
heard.
You have, I don't know how many people are on there, but you've got about half that are very much into DEI, woke instruction, LGBTQ, drag queen story hour, wants all that in the schools. That's part of them.
Right.
And you've got the other half that's like, absolutely not. That doesn't belong in schools. We don't want that there. You've got 2 seats open. So that's going to change the board. It's going to be majority one way or the other.
Okay, that makes sense
And you've
why
got
this is so...
2 people running that are very much woke, to use the shorthand, and 2 people that are not. And so depending on which pair gets elected, it could split too, you know?
Well, this is a great example of why getting out to vote matters, because
really
you've got
matters.
still in Springfield, still today, you have a majority that would lean more to the conservative side of things on those issues. And yet, that majority does not show up to vote. And then they complain like, oh, what's happening to our town? We've gone this way. We don't like it.
Yep.
Yeah, but did you vote?
So here's my hot take on all this. I think that's part of the problem. I think the other part of the problem is a vein of thought within Christianity that says, golly, we know they're wrong, but we just need to be nice. You know, let's not challenge them. You know, let's try to win everything with love. And I think that only goes so far.
Well,
I think eventually you're Elijah and you call down the spirit of fire and it burns and you. And
well, in that vein, it has gone to flames. I mean, that's why so many people have left the city and moved to Nixa, Ozark, Rogersville, Stratford,
continue
Willard.
to come.
Yeah, the mass exodus. So
at some point you have
2
to stand
options.
up and say, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
In love, you're wrong. And I'm not going to say you're right. We're not going to tolerate this. And I'm not even necessarily going to be that nice about it if you're not going to be nice back. If you can't have a rational conversation,
Yes.
then
Oh my gosh.
then we're not going to have one.
well, I think you still be nice. I mean, it's just because they're fired up doesn't mean I have to get fired up.
I agree with that.
I can speak truth and hold my ground and not be emotionally rocked by
But I'll
their
tell you what
disagreement.
I'm really tired of. I'm really tired of hearing Bible-believing Christians say, it doesn't matter if you're on the right or the left, we just need to come together in love. That's just not true. That's just not true. I mean,
way oversimplified.
It's
for
way
sure.
oversimplified because let's look.
Missing a lot of
Are you
context.
going to claim to be a Christian and vote to sacrifice babies to a demon god Mammon?
Okay, so
That's
we're
what
on that topic, and on that topic,
That's what abortion is.
Yeah, it's
So that's what abortion is.
We're pulling out all the stops
Are
today,
you
folks.
going to be a Bible believing Christian and vote to mutilate children in worship to the demon god Asherah?
But then we can feel better about ourselves because we look at the science we gathered from these body parts and look what we can do now. So that's always like, but look what we do here, and
It's just a distraction.
It is a total
It's a total distraction.
Well,
and
I
I
think
can
a
go
lot-
on and on
I
and
know,
on
we know, yeah.
with examples
Right.
of why you cannot vote for certain candidates and claim in good conscience to be a Christian. You can't. You just can't.
There's a whole lot of big issues happening right now, and then I feel like they're sprinkling in a whole lot of not very very fringe issues, right? And I think those are being sprinkled in as distractions.
Well, I think
always, yeah.
I think
Like,
the whole
look at this,
honestly,
look at
I
this.
think the whole thing is a distraction because the whole point of our federal government is money laundering. That's
hard to
why
argue
they're
that.
there. That's why they exist, is to gather money any way they can, however they can get it, and give it to themselves and their friends.
Yeah,
And,
I agree.
and
I'm beginning
that-
to agree with that.
That
more
is
and more.
both parties.
Yes,
I-
it is.
that
100%.
That is
I had
100%
that is
both
red
parties.
and blue.
I had that conversation over the weekend that I think it's really hard anymore to argue that, well, my party, whether it's Republican or Democrat or whatever, is more ethical than the other one, because I feel like you have a lot of politicians that are not doing things for the right
And that's
reasons.
why I didn't say party when I talked about voting.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
that's
talked
right.
I talked about you cannot vote for that candidate
Yeah.
because these are the things they support and they're inherently
Absolutely,
demonic.
because
Yeah.
there's candidates in every party that you're going to agree with and disagree with, and I think it's
Absolutely.
Well, yeah,
It's-
and I'm a big accountability guy. Like I'm a truth seeker and a truth teller. I don't care which side you're on. If you're not telling the truth, I want you to be exposed.
Oh,
Absolutely,
100%.
yeah.
There's a high
and,
value
Oh, by
for
the way,
me.
there should be consequences for people's actions.
Right. And that's the frustrating part is, okay, there's going to be this trial, there's going to be this thing, and then it goes away. Unless it's one there, if it's a witch hunt, they'll see it all the way through. But if it's,
Yeah.
you know,
You want to know who I'm actually feeling really sorry for today that's going to surprise you?
Okay.
It's not Donald Trump.
Yeah, I don't feel sorry for him.
It's Alvin Bragg.
I don't know who that is.
Alvin
either.
Bragg is the New York DA that led the grand jury to
okay.
indict Donald Trump. And here's why I feel sorry for him.
because he had to do it.
Basically
forced into it.
Every DOJ U.S. attorney had the opportunity to file this case and wouldn't do it.
Right.
Every other prosecutor in New York had the opportunity to file this case, wouldn't do it. Every attorney general in New York had the opportunity to do this. They could have done it in Georgia. They could have done it in Florida. They got this guy.
Yeah.
They made him do it. He's either a fool, which might be the case, but I mean, he's the scapegoat
Right.
that did this.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for him because if you think of all these other
Career
people
ender.
that could have done it, that maybe should have done it if there was actual wrongdoing there, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
wouldn't do it, but they got him. He's not. I think he thinks he's a hero because he campaigned on
He's gonna-
"I will."
He's going to feel like it for a while.
His campaign slogan was "I will indict Donald Trump." That was, I mean, before he even got to look at one shred of evidence as an elected prosecutor, that was his campaign slogan.
There you go, buddy.
He got his wish, and I think he's going to regret it. I feel sorry for him.
Well, it'll make for great TV.
I know.
I won't watch it.
It's like every
It'll be on NBC. The defendant. It won't be.
every week there's some new
boy.
episode. I feel like some new thing that's introduced into the world. And going back to something you said a while back in the conversation is we have got to start having conversations again about this stuff, not people screaming at each other and telling each other that they're bad people because they disagree with one another.
Well, that's
have to.
The only way that happens is when we can actually look at each other in the eyeballs, and we
Yes.
don't do that anymore.
No,
You know,
absolutely not.
For the last 15 years, we've seen this keyboard warrior syndrome, and it's just people are so brave behind their computer
Well,
screen.
and
or-
I
Why
think
ain't that true?
somebody said, I may have been Jared that said this yesterday. When somebody's kind of, your subconscious, there's a reason why your brain gave you a filter for your
Right,
mouth. I
right.
mean, like you think things.
Really?
And yeah.
There's a filter?
There's filter.
and some of us
There's
have learned to
supposed to
not
be.
say everything we think. It's been a long, slow process in my life that
Yes.
I've learned that discipline little by little.
The great thing about getting older is that filter just gets
You know-
thinner and thinner and thinner.
The baddest things about your personality are in your brain,
Right.
right? And then you learn to say things in a manner that are appropriate.
Right.
They're in our heart.
So
That's where they really are.
now we have social media, and I think people are talking on social media from their subconscious. You know what I mean? Like without the
Oh,
filter.
they call that lizard brain.
Yep. Well, a
I've
good
never heard the
example
term
in my
lizard
life,
brain.
we talked a little bit about it last week, but there was, some people disagreed with me publicly online, and that's fine. And every time
Yeah,
I was kind
that's
and
fine.
came back and multiple times said, these are great questions. Do you want to come? I'll buy you a cup of coffee. Come out to the shop. I'll buy it. Let's talk.
I don't want to do that.
Never happens when it goes from I'm going to give my thought on a whim, on my phone. I'm
In
gonna,
public, get some likes.
I'm going to do it all. You're right. I'm going to say it, but
Yeah.
to actually sit down, knee to knee, eyeball to eyeball, and have a cup of coffee and just have a conversation.
Yeah.
People don't want to do it.
No,
it's
they don't want to do it.
It will not change until we learn to actually communicate with one another again.
And
you can exchange ideas. It's beautiful. You'll learn something from one another.
Absolutely.
I don't have to agree with everything, but I might learn something.
I honestly think 90% of our people, I won't say what Joel Osteen said, which is our good people, because we all know that's not right. But I think we all want the same things. I think we all agree.
I agree,
just think I think some of us understand the truth about how that happens, and a lot of people are misguided.
I think at the end of the day, people want to be, they want to feel safe and they want to be comfortable. And, some people have varying degrees of what that means. But in general, they're pretty, same mind. It's just, it's gotten real twisted to me on how we get to that for everybody. And I think it's just kind of lost sight of how that works.
That's definitely part of it. But part of it also is our education system has wholly failed an entire generation. And I'm not sure mine was educated that well. Because listen, if you understand things like economics, you don't say stupid things like tax the rich.
So
it's just ridiculous.
I'm going to go back on that, though. I think we have a parenting failure.
Oh, well, sure. I won't deny that.
Well, that's part of education. If you take it out of the,
I don't think,
standardized
I don't want to blame education. I think we have a system failure because just of people, because so you definitely had opinions bleed into education that shouldn't have been there. I agree with that. Because at the end of the day, we're talking about educating children, right? They're children. But then parents ultimately are supposed to be involved enough in the education of their children that if there is issues, they should be squashed, right?
Right. Well, two points. One, I was really talking a little more about higher education, that we're not educating people about how economics work and things like that. But second of all, understand in a substantial part of the country, parents were shut out of the classrooms and really didn't even know it. And then when the Zoom stuff came back in and they started seeing what was being taught, they're like, "Oh, wait a minute!" And then the schools went, "Oh, never mind, we're not letting you."
Yeah.
I don't.
We won't do that.
And I know there are a lot of people that would, particularly teachers, that would not like this. Probably people very close to me. I see no reason why there should not be a publicly accessible, at least to parents, accessible camera in every classroom. You want if you're a parent. Now, publicly, I take it back. I don't mean that. That's a horrible idea. But I think if you're a parent in the classroom with today's technology, I don't see any reason, and I'm willing to sit across the table from somebody and they can tell me why I'm wrong. Why can't I, as a parent, go, I want to see what's going on in Jack's classroom today, and click on the camera and see and hear what's going on?
I haven't given enough thought to that to really speak to it.
I haven't either, but my filter will allow me to go ahead and say that.
Something that's been on my mind for a long time is how parents have to engage the process.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I always talk about in my church, I feel like we've got about 1/3 who's homeschool, 1/3 that's Christian private school, and 1/3 that's public school. May not be exact numbers, but
that's interesting though, because that's in the past it would have just been primarily public
right.
school.
Well, and one of the things that I enjoy about it is I feel like we've built a culture that says, and we're not going to fight about it.
Yeah,
whatever you decide to do,
there's no reason to,
for your home and your family. And we have we may have more, but I can think of one family, 3 kids, one's homeschooled, one's at a private Christian school, one's a public school. So they have all 3 in their home. But I think it's beautiful because they're recognizing that each child needs something different from the education system. But they're a great example because parents have to engage their mind. So if you think that you're homeschooling your kid under a Christian worldview, that, okay, then I can just kind of disengage from, some of these other cultural things, you're going to fail your child. If you take them to a Christian school and be like, okay, I can disengage because, okay, I trust those people, they got it, you're in trouble. If you go to public school and think, okay, I don't have to be involved in the process, they got it covered, you're in trouble. On every system, parents have to figure out how they need to be involved.
Yeah.
Because you can't farm out the education of your children to these other people. It's, yes, they are trained, they are proficient at, teaching your children, but you have to be a part of the process. And so at whatever level, parents have to know. And I have a friend who their kid is in public school, and there was this information sent home. Hey, we're going to have this assembly. I think maybe it was by class, but it's basically how to speak up if there's something unsafe happening to you. okay, that sounds good, except we don't know who's teaching it. We don't know what the point of it is. What are they going to be covering? And so it was saying, hey, we need you to sign this to say it's okay for your kid to go to this thing. But there was no real clear information. They said, if you have any questions, email or call the school. Well, they received it on Friday. The assembly was on Monday. So there's no way to get information.
No way to call. Yeah.
So my friend said, we're not going to participate. I'm
Well, I
not
wouldn't
going to
either.
let them be taught this because we don't know what's going to be
Well, and we've seen
said.
too many examples of, hey, we're having an assembly today about respect. Okay, sounds good. Well, what are we going to do? We're going to bring in the drag queen story hour to show the kids that they need to be respectful.
And that was exactly his concern, was he knew some of the things that had already been taught that made him feel uncomfortable and said, no, we're not doing it.
This whole deal with that being something that's brought up, I'm seeing this everywhere I go right now.
It's because it's happening everywhere you go.
Well, it's not happening everywhere I go. It's happening in other places somewhere.
Columbia,
but it's
Missouri.
not happening where I go. Because if it was, I would be involved in the process. But my whole deal is every week or two, we have some new subject, and currently it's the drag queen thing, and which is adult entertainment. It's always been adult entertainment, right? From the beginning of entertainment, we've categorized things as children, teenager, middle, adult, right?
Right.
We have a movie rating system. Clear, cut, and dry, that's adult entertainment. Always has been, always will be, was back in France, way back in the day when
Lauren, I feel
they
like you're
started that.
speaking common sense here. Can you cut that out?
Yeah,
I don't know where you're going with
So-
this.
So let's say it's, that's adult entertainment. I don't even know why this is even a subject, because it's mind blowing to me that this is even a subject relating to elementary schools. How does that even happen, right? I don't even understand it. So
Because it's happening in elementary schools.
I know I know it's happening.
I wasn't
know.
sure that you did, because the way you said that.
I know it's happening. No, but what I'm saying is it's not happening everywhere. It's not. It is happening in some places. And for some reason, some people have decided to make this a forefront issue, and it's simply not.
I hear what
But
you're
it's
saying.
a
My
symptom.
concern,
It's a
though,
symptom
is
of it. I see
if
it.
you don't address it, it will eventually be everywhere.
Yeah, and I'm sitting.
It always starts
I'm
somewhere
sitting over here like,
before
how
it goes
did we
everywhere.
even get to this point
Oh,
where
yeah.
this is even where adults are even?
Why is this a question?
Why is this even a
It
question?
shouldn't be.
I'm with you on
I mean,
that.
I'm not going to bring a Chippendales dancer into my kids' Easter party. I'm not going to do that.
What if it's Chris Farley, though?
Well,
He's
yes.
dead, but God rest
Every
his soul.
time, yes.
Right,
Every
okay.
time, yes. Actually, no.
Patrick Swayze and Chris Farley.
My wife teaches public school. My kids went to public school. We all went to Rogersville. We love Rogersville schools, obviously. I sit on the board for Gloria Deo, which is a private Christian homeschool co-op thing. What kind of breaks my heart about the homeschooling thing here locally, it's very specific, is we have a lot of great kids, great families that have withdrawn from a great school system.
Yeah, and that sucks. Yes,
and
I
that
agree.
sucks because
It does
because that just if your school system is already trash, I get it. Pull out.
Yes.
Right.
We're not.
No,
We're
That's
good.
exactly
not.
right.
This is a great school system, and I'll just say this: pulling your Christian kids out of a great school system hurts the community in some way.
Yeah, and I would,
I mean,
I would say
it's a loss for the school system. Yes,
I have seen things. My twin boys are 19, and they're definitely showing these signs of maturing and growing up and becoming young men, adults. And I've seen the value of their public education, especially when it comes to their faith being opposed. They've seen this before.
Yeah.
That's the beauty, is this is not their first rodeo. And so they're very comfortable. They're very confident. They can articulate answers for their faith because this isn't the first time they've been challenged.
that's beautiful.
And so not only is it good for them, but we need Christians in the public school systems as missionaries,
Absolutely.
as light in a dark place. And so as good as our schools are, there's still some darkness because there are people there, right?
And
so
if we all abandon it, then the darkness takes over.
it becomes a very dark
darkness
place.
only
Yep.
exists in the absence of light.
Yep.
We have lights all over the studio. If they weren't here, it'd be dark.
Yep.
You don't have a lamp that produces dark. Lamps produce light.
Yes.
yeah.
My wife teaches public school as well, as you know, and she does that as a calling. And so when she is educating those kids,
Because honestly, to do it now, you kind of have to.
yeah, it's
'Cause
getting
not-
harder and harder. I will
Yeah,
not hide
yes.
that. But she knows that the way she greets those kids, For many of them, it's the only love that they'll see that day.
Yeah.
And so it's important to her, and so I'm with you. The idea of withdrawing completely is it's damaging to our communities.
And my challenge too is to the folks going to church every Sunday with the good Christians of the world and all of that. They need to be behaving like good Christians. And I think there's currently a almost battle going on within our community about this. And
this is I'm not calling any particular church out. When I say this, I'm talking about every church. Mine, yours, everybody else's. Just because you go to church doesn't mean you're a good Christian or even a Christian at all.
Truth.
So
100%. We all know that's the case. But my deal is like, and I honestly think it all goes back to people are not being held accountable for their actions. Mm-hmm. The people in their lives are not holding them accountable. The court systems are not holding them accountable. It's like math, and people do not like being held accountable. They don't like it.
Hadn't noticed.
Yeah, they don't like it.
Well, G.K. Chesterton said when you
G.K.
Chesterton when you stop believing in God, it's not that you believe in nothing. You believe in anything. You'll believe in anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what we're seeing, kind of across our culture, kind of across our
landscape.
landscape.
And I wouldn't disagree with that because there's stuff out there that I'm like, how is this even being talked about? Like, how is this even?
Yeah.
How is anybody in good conscience that think that this is a good idea?
And the other side of I think this conversation is you have all of the people that say we're a Christian nation and God's got His hand on this nation and we've got to save this nation for God. And I got to go, have you read the Old Testament? I mean, that was a nation chose by God. They were overrun. They were corrupt. They were swept off into captivity. I love my country. I'm patriotic. I don't see any great merit from a Christian perspective about we have to have this Christian United States. If this country is conquered by China, okay, I'll be a Christian in China. I don't care, and that means I'll probably be in jail. But I may be a Christian in jail in the United States in 10 years,
like most of our brothers around the world.
Yeah, and that's okay. Our energy, to some extent, as Christians, can be very much misplaced in trying to save
nationalism.
Nationalism, trying to save a earthly government institution construct that maybe God doesn't really care about.
Yeah.
Well, we're in the tricky waters there.
Oh, I know we are.
It's a good one, though. It's a great conversation to have.
I think I've done a great job of offending everybody today.
You've done great. Good work. You're consistent, if nothing else.
At the end of the day, it's okay to have an opinion, and it's okay to talk about it,
Sure.
and people should do that. But the difference is you got to be able to sit down with people and talk about it. That's it. And if they disagree with you, ruining their life
that's not okay.
Is not okay.
Yeah.
Note
we
yourself.
shouldn't go after people and the same
character
time, too,
assassination is never okay.
Tearing a family apart because of politics, not okay ever.
Right.
Sorry,
Yeah.
it's not. There is absolutely no reason to attack the people in your life because they disagree with you.
That's the dirty game of politics.
Just don't flippin' do it.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Well, it's happened. It will happen. It'll continue to happen, but...
I didn't expect us to have this intense.
Well, we
conversation.
never know. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
You never know.
Never know what's going to happen.
I don't. It's beautiful weather outside.
Beautiful. Until tonight, we're going to get tornadoes.
Naders, maybe.
We're hoping to get out and shoot some rifles this afternoon before it gets too bad. But
Yeah,
I don't know if we're going to make it or not.
Nice
don't know.
to be out and
We'll
doing
see.
all the springy stuff.
It's been awesome. Get a little sunburn, a little vitamin D.
Yes.
Got to mow the yard.
Yeah, I got to do
The
it too.
mowing
I'm in the every 3 days mowing stage right now.
I've not yet ripped the seal off of that yet this year, but it's coming.
Your first mow is going to be rough, Will.
I'm 2 in, and it's
No, I think I'm okay. I've been eyeballing it because we just dug that pond. We're still within this range. The onions are up here, but
onions.
everything else is the thick grass is still low. But that's a great. I've actually. I always hated mowing the yard. Almost look forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a great time to knock out a couple podcasts and some audio.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. I've lost, but my boys used to mow, and I've lost that now.
Sorry,
so,
man.
but that's
Me
okay.
too, but-
I've rediscovered the joy of some alone time with the mower.
With the mower.
With the mower.
Just manning his thoughts.
It's not too bad. Anything we
stuff.
need to know that's coming up the next week or so?
I know Safe Haven Gala. We've decided Gala. I think after the mom show I watched the other day, I'm going to say Gala.
Okay.
And,
This
it's
It
happening
can
on
be a
Saturday.
gala. I
It's
didn't
happening on
start that
Saturday.
one.
And
It's Holy Week. I mean,
it is Holy
lots
Week.
of churches are having
I've been
Thursday services,
showing
Friday
the girls
services,
the videos.
Sunday.
I'm behind on a couple, but I was like, here, this is a good thing to watch. You watch this. So
Yeah, we're doing the 7 sayings of Jesus as he hung on the cross. So each day we just a little 4 or 5 minute video devotional, and
Very nice.
I appreciate that
help
stuff
people
very
engage.
much because it makes it very accessible.
Yeah.
To anytime, and so that's cool, and so that's exciting. Easter's coming.
Yeah.
It's big. I love Easter.
Hey, if you do decide to go to church for Easter, and I hope that you do, and it's not your church or not church you don't regularly attend, look at their service times and pick one that's not your favorite.
Not your favorite time, or not your favorite?
Not your
church?
favorite time.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Our church is dealing with it. You probably are too. But that sweet spot 9:30 service. It's not the 8 a.m. and not the 11. Is busting out. I mean, just like hanging from the rafters. Like, you can come at 8.
Will always
you can come
choose
at
their
11.
preference.
I know they will. That's okay. Never mind. I didn't mean to say that. Go to church, you heathen.
Just find a time.
Go to church.
You go early and make sure you're back in time for brunch or lunch.
Yeah,
or you
absolutely.
can have your brunch, lunch, and then go late.
Brunch lunch.
All right, let's tap this thing out.
Oh goodness.
We'll see you next week. Sorry you're going to not get the waffle scroll. I don't know. But
I don't know what's
that's a
happening.
bad deal. Bye.
Yeah.